Live, 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 live. Mic check, mic check. We are live, live. We are live, 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 live. Hello, all. Anyone tuning in that may not be registering yet on the counter? Anyone in here? Hello, say hi. Welcome, one and all, to the monthly Q&A here on my channel. Videos have been a bit scant and scarce lately. I've been very busy, obviously, with the camouflage brand stuff. I will talk about that here in a bit. Um, so thank you all for tuning in, and anyone coming in, thank you. Say hey in the chat. First off, drink of the day will be some alt brew hiking boots blonde ale. It's only about 5%. Pretty weak, but it's got good flavor. So cheers to everyone. Justin B, what's up? Mark, what's up, man? Thanks for tuning in. Cheers, y'all. A gluten-free blonde ale. Good flavor. Alrighty. Let's see here. All right. As always, anyone that's just coming in, again, hello. Say hey in the chat. Lark, just got your first 9mm. Nice. You beat me to it. I still don't own a 9. As always, I am going to do the community post questions first, and then after that, it is just a free-for-all hangout for the rest of the time with everyone in the chat, answering questions, talking about various whatevers. Band shirt of the day. Leviathans, Cry Yourself to Ashes, printed by Holy Mountain Printing. Gotta love Leviathan, man. Good stuff. Jeff Whitehead is a great musician. All right. So let's knock out the community post questions first, and then I will just shoot the breeze with everyone in here. So let's see. First question from One Round Left. Appreciate the question, brother. Fellow grunt. Everyone go check out his channel. He plays with all kinds of cool boomsticks and whatnot. He just did a really cool series testing ballistic drywall, Kevlar drywall. So go check it. One Round Left. Check his channel out. His question was, what are my thoughts on 30 Super Carry? He thinks it would be more popular if there were more pistols chambered in it. What are your thoughts? Honestly, no real thoughts on it. It's a bougie niche cartridge, and I don't know anyone personally that carries it. It's not a issue duty carry of any kind. It it just really is not much of a blip on the radar. I know it has some pretty good performance, and there's some other things that people like about it from what I have seen, but other than that, it is a shadow. It is not really on the radar. So, unfortunately, I don't have much thoughts on it because I have no use time with it. And again, it's a very kind of niche thing. So, not really interested in it. Um, that's really my take on it. It's a good question, though. I would like to get my hands on one at some point. It's something that is chambered in that cartridge and try it out, see what it's about. But other than that, I'm still 40 gang. Let's see. Large Ogre. What do I think about the gas prices? They're pretty ridiculous. To get into that real quick, obviously there's a lot of things going on. Strategic Reserve attempts to replenish that, but are at the same time being distributed to keep costs down while all this stuff is happening in the Arabian Gulf and other places. The cheapest gas that I found in my area is $4.25 a gallon right now, and that's Citgo. You know where that oil is coming from? Venezuela. So that's the cheapest gas right now here. And It's kind of ridiculous, but prices are going to keep climbing for a little while. So it's not going to be very sustainable for, let alone our domestic economy, let alone world economy. So a lot of countries are feeling the hurt right now. And that means that we have to take a big step back and take a really hard look on what our logistics are and what our production looks like. We need to do a lot more in-house stuff. Um, some projections are the East and West Coast are going to see $10 a gallon by the 4th of July, which is astronomically insane. Um, other than that, yeah, it just hurts the wallet. I just filled up. I put $30 in my tank, and it got me about 7 gallons. So it's not great, but that's the lowest price I've found in my area. It's ridiculous. So we need to fix that stuff, Ricky Tick. Yep, price there too. I mean, all the Midwest is pretty much the same. Up north here in the state, there is a petrol refinery in the north of the state. It's the only one we have in our state. So that helps keep costs down, at least for some of the supply provision to various gas station chains and stuff like Quick Trip, KWIK Trip. None of that Q stuff. Uh, other than that, yeah, gas prices are bad. Cheapest gas we're finding is with Quick Trip and Citgo here. So, which is crazy because like some of the other U.S. Uh, petrol companies, Amoco, and BP, Shell, those like yeah, the price is way higher. Which doesn't make sense if we're doing stuff in house. We're doing some stuff in house, but we still have a lot of foreign drilling and foreign sourcing that we're doing. The stuff in the Arabian Gulf only makes up a small percentage of what we do. Uh, some of the most foreign offshore U.S. drilling for oil that we do is off the coast of Nigeria, and then there's obviously the North Sea as well, and then our stuff in the Gulf of America, Gulf of Mexico, whatever you want to call it. Apart from land-based drilling, we need to restart that deal with Canada for the sandpoint drilling in the massive fields that they have in northern Canada, and a number of other things logistically to make things more sound and to replenish our strategic reserves as much as correct the economy right now. USA Family Karate 47, thanks for tuning in. 5 a gallon there in Michigan. Damn, right across the pond, and you're 75 cents more a gallon than here in Wisconsin, which is crazy. Ridiculous. So yeah. And then the two other questions from Scoot and from Rebel Spirit Operations are about the Frac T camo stuff. So we will answer that right now. So updates are I'm still working in the process to get MMI Textiles on board right now. It's a slow process. They're a large multi-structure facility compound in I think they're in Indiana or Ohio. I can't remember. I'm sorry. But I'm working with them. They're working with me on it. They're trying to get some greige, so some undyed material to send over to their print shop. I've already sent them one of the patterns to do test printing and stuff with. So it's just them getting the material that they need, and then we can do test prints. And then if all goes well from there, then we can finalize licensing. And then various types of nylon, some laminates, ripstop for uniforms and things like that will all become available with printing through MMI Textiles. Right now, other soft goods stuff. So your Cordura HP 1000 denier, your 600 denier, polybase materials, which are also good for tactical soft goods. They're waterproof. They're hydrophobic material quality. They're waterproof. There's also windbreaker and then a bunch of apparel fabrics that are available through the current licensed printer and material provider Rainier Fabrics out of the Pacific Northwest. And that's print to order over there. It's a different setup than what MMI Textiles does. MMI does a lot more contract and industrial scale stuff. So when it comes to gear companies, uniform manufacturers, and fabric distributors, retailers, they're going to have to be ordering, half roll, full roll at a time, which is not cheap. But that material will become accessible soon. I'm just waiting on MMI to get the material that they need so we can finish the test printing process. And as long as that all goes well and gets figured out, then they're on board to do licensing. And then from there, companies that do order at scale will be able to do so. And then more equipment and everything will be coming out. But right now, there's a list, a pool on the website, fractcamo.com. There's a pool of manufacturers and custom build um, outfits, one man operations and stuff. There's a list of them there already. So if you do want some custom gear in the currently available materials, be it the waterproof, uh, rugged as hell soft good stuff, or you know, uh, select other kinds of things, ponchos or whatever, material is available and they can build that stuff for you. So just go check out that list. Um, so yeah, that's the big update there. Apart from companies that are coming on board, I've had really good talks with the owner of Ope Gear, who makes a lot of like scrims and stuff. He just released his chest rig system. And he's over in Minnesota, and he's going to be coming on board. He's a cage code partner as well. Sable Defense out of Texas. I'm talking with Trash Panda Manufacturing on and off, and I'm talking to about four other smaller outfits right now too, and then some more custom build outfits that do a lot of business through like Instagram and stuff. Um, so those are all coming on board soon too. Those companies. So keep an eye out for Sable Defense because they're releasing slings as well in the W and RW patterns. Swift Design and Textiles currently has W and MU pattern stuff available, not just slings, but also whatever you want, signal panels, seat pads, whatever. The stuff that he makes in his catalog, he offers it all in those two patterns currently, as far as my patterns go, camo patterns go. So but yeah, and then there's some other companies there too. But there's at least three or four more coming on board here very shortly. Apart from the second textile licensee, once we get that process going on, it takes a lot longer with them, with these larger textile companies. So, and talking to some other companies that want to come on board, but they just they want spec sheets for stuff, and I'm like, look, I'm not the material provider. I'm not the retailer or anything. I own the patterns, I own the IP, I do the branding, I'm doing the networking, building that pool of partners, all that stuff. That's what I do. But I do reach out and be like, hey, if you want materials, they're available now in these types through this license provider. Another licensee is coming on board soon. So it's that whole process. It's a lot of business stuff. Um, Logistically, it just doesn't make sense, nor is it really feasible financially or spatially for me to take on doing distribution and retail of a large amount of materials. That's very expensive, and I don't have room for it. Um, Makes more sense with partners that are already in place, that already have sales point, order platforms, and all that stuff, to work with them to do it. And I make things as easy as possible for all my partners. So, Cover Breakout, what's up, dude? Thanks for tuning in. Um, so that's kind of where that's at with all the camo stuff. So there is some really cool stuff coming soon. It doesn't happen overnight. And certain companies want certain types of materials, other companies want other types of materials and all that stuff. So it's like, okay, I'm trying to find the best balance. So some really awesome quality materials, print to order, are available now, and more are coming soon in a large pool of added material types with another industrial scale textile printer and provider that sources from U.S. mills as much as possible, and so on. So it's just the name of the game in the synthetic textiles industry, in the soft goods industry as it is right now. So it's all on what they have, and what they can get, as much as what they provide for the various companies in the industry. So some companies want some types of stuff, some want other types of stuff, whatever it is. So that's all becoming available slowly in this process. It just takes a lot longer with the larger scale industrial and contract printers and manufacturers. So George Washington, GW01, what's up, dude? Thanks for tuning in. Everyone's saying hey. Beer of the day is an Alt Brew Hiking Boots Blonde Ale, 5%. Cheers. This is a gluten-free beer made right here in Wisconsin at a brewery that only makes gluten-free beers. My only qualm with alt brew is they used to make one beer that was a lot stronger, that more my preference, but it was only seasonal really, and they've stopped making it, unfortunately. The other one that I really like that they make is a Hefeweiss, and that's seasonal too, so I can't get it right now. I think it's another month or two before I'll be able to get a hold of it. The blonde ale is okay. It's got good flavor. Not as strong as I like though. I really want Alt Brew to make a strong beer. They made a porter that was pretty good, that had decent strength, and then they had another one. I think it was a farmhouse ale or something like that. That was pretty strong, and that was more. I was more privy to that, but they don't make them anymore, unfortunately. So hopefully in the future they will. We'll see. Oh yeah, yeah. Lark has some news. You'll like it, Covert. Um. So yeah, that's the update with the Frag T Camo stuff. Like in general. Um. Any other questions about that stuff? Fire away. Any other topics of discussion or questions that you have? Fire away in the chat. Happy to answer it. I have not gotten any DSA metal mags yet. All my money has been getting poured into surviving and the camo brand. So I haven't really had a lot of spending money and then catching DSA at a time when they actually have them in stock because they only produce them in like spurts of batches, unfortunately. So I have not been able to get my hands on any. So when I do, I'll probably go two and see how they run. But unfortunately, not yet. Yeah, it's just with the cost of everything right now, it's insane. 7 gallons was $30 earlier to fill up, put some gas in my tank. So grocery prices aren't faring too much better right now. I mean, they've gone down a little bit, but it's not great. I mean, you're looking, just us in an apartment, and I'm spending easily $500 a month on groceries. It's ridiculous. So Americans are getting screwed on the cost of things. Yep. Yep. A USA Family Karate 47 there earlier said in Michigan it's already 5 a gallon. Covert. So yeah, it's getting there. I Citgo is actually the cheapest. The Venezuelan gas coming in from Citgo is actually the cheapest right here right now at 425. Everywhere else is about 449. So about 450 a gallon. Um Lark, got to do some frac tea dipping. Oh, do you have a hydro dip company that wants to do that by you? Because I mean, get on Signal and send me their info, man. Because I'll reach out to them if they want to license to do hydro dipping. I've been looking for a company that wants to do frac tea hydro dip. Um, that would be really cool. Gen X, what's up, dude? Wearing a Leviathan shirt today for all the metalheads in there. So yeah, Lark, get on Signal and send me the info for the hydro dipper. If you've got someone that does hydro dip for receivers and forends and all that stuff, like yeah, friggin' send them my way. I've been looking for one. I tried to reach out to the one that ADM, American Defense Manufacturing, which is a rifle manufacturer here in Wisconsin. They use a company out of Milwaukee, and I reached out to them, but I didn't hear anything back. ADM just completely ignored me too. I'm like, look, I'm willing to offer these patterns for hydro dips and competent Cerakotes. So yeah, everything's super expensive, man. It's ridiculous. And then unfortunately, because I'm on a medically required gluten free diet, everything costs even more for no freaking reason. It's annoying. Horns up, everyone. Horns up. Yeah, it's bad, man. Yeah, cost of everything is ridiculous right now. Um, yeah, fire away. More questions, more topics, man. Keep them coming, folks. Fire away in the chat. Gotta pay more to have less in your food. I know, it's ridiculous, dude. Less ingredients and it costs more for no freaking reason. Now, I will say a couple of things I do get imported. This stuff is made in Europe. Delicious. It's actually the European gluten-free food stuff is all pretty solid from everything that I do get. That yeah, the stuff's made in Italy. Yeah, pretty good. The best gluten-free bread that I've found to be able to get is Canyon Bakery, Canyon Mountain Bakery, which is a Colorado company. They make the best gluten-free bread that I've been able to find in the stores. Um, and then I have a couple of options again for like gluten-free beer and stuff. You know, Alt Brew is one of them. Greens, which is import, that's all Belgian brewed stuff, which are my favorites. Um, there's a couple of other options, but they're all piss water. Like I hate weak beer. I do. I hate weak beer. It's always lacking in the horsepower and the flavor. Yeah, Gen X, it's weird, man. So anything that's wheat, barley, rye, certain oats, some oats are gluten free, some aren't. And there's a couple of other grains like that, all contain gluten. Um, a lot of ancient grains do not. Millets, buckwheat, and some others, and then like rice and stuff. As long as it's not enriched rice, rice are all gluten free. So like I've got plenty of options. Which is it good. It took a long time to figure that stuff out, but yeah, it has to do with food processing over the years and how biologically the structure and stuff of various like grains and other foods and stuff have changed over time. Um, typically, like European bread and stuff is a lot better for you than American bread. It's like that kind of thing, unless you make it homemade, obviously. But even then, you got to be conscious about what flour you're using and stuff. It's like all that kind of stuff. Like it all compounds, you know. But I'm totally gluten intolerant because of a toxic exposure injury in the military that screwed my gut up. So it's not like I was born with celiac disease or anything like some people are and stuff. Like that's not the case with me. Um, but it's medically required now. Begrudgingly, I'm not happy about it, because I got diagnosed in 2017. I haven't been gluten free my entire life. It's not by choice. And it sucks. Having to adapt to that diet sucks. Um, it's made it very difficult because even like, trying to hang out with friends or like thankfully here in my immediate area, there's a good food scene for gluten free alternative stuff. Um, and some foods in general are just gluten free, but like hanging out with friends, going to see family and stuff, none of them are, and they don't understand. It's very difficult, even cross contamination from other stuff like that. It's a problem for people that are super sensitive. And I'm completely intolerant, unfortunately. So, um, yeah, it sucks. So it's like, it's just, I have to do without, at times like eating certain kinds of food and then even being able to like hang out with people it gets limited because like they want to go do these things. Sorry, can't fucking eat there, you know? So it sucks. And the VA still won't give me 100% for it. Just got my appeal denied. So, yeah, still fighting that too. So it's like, literally, it permanently changed my life and this fucking sucks and you're not doing anything about it. So it is what it is. Um, let's see. Look at the chat here. Lark is gonna nine upper. So milk, yeah, milk's fine. Dairy's fine. Yeah, none of that has gluten in it. Fracti Kydex holsters, that would be sick. So, Tact Wrap, Pete with Tact Wrap, he makes the adhesive stuff, similar to like Ranger Wrap. The both those companies do kind of the same thing, but Tact Wrap. Um, he's got some of the Fracti stuff. I don't know if he's really added it to his catalog yet. He hasn't really been active. He hasn't done a lot of marketing or anything lately. I don't know what's going on with him. But uh adhesive wrap stuff to put over holsters, grips, mags, like all that kind of stuff. Like he makes all that. So he's got some Fracti stuff, but he hasn't made he's been super silent lately with his just online presence as a business and stuff. It's weird, and I keep trying to reach out like, "Are you okay?" Not a peep, but um yeah, so as far as another I'm going to look at another company for as far as printed material that can then be adhered onto holsters and stuff. I'll be looking at another company for offering that kind of product here. Um, Other than that, I mean, it's kind of difficult to do that printing direct onto hard polymers like that. Like whether it's buckles and clips like ITW or whatever, Cobra or whatever, or just sheet of Kydex, it's a little more difficult. So I need to find a printer for that. Obviously, all the textile stuff is a big priority for now, but I am kind of looking around to try and find something for that kind of market. Aside from the adhesive application stuff that companies do out there with soft goods fabrics. But that would be cool though. Oh yeah, yeah. Milk goes great with these wafers. Gen X, absolutely it does. What happens if I consume gluten? Extreme bloating, gastric pain, abdominal pain, um, an unenjoyable time in the bathroom, and occasionally, if I'm unfortunately exposed to too much of it, I start puking blood. So it's not fun, but a lot of discomfort. I was starting to have a lot of ER trips right before the time when I got the diagnosis from the War Related Illness and Injury Study Center. Um, I was having a lot of ER trips, unfortunately, and I had lost a lot of weight. And my GI specialist was like, "This is not good. You're gonna fucking die if you don't figure it out." I'm like, "Yeah." So I went for a week to the War Related Illness and Injury Study Center. There's 3 locations throughout the country. One's in East Orange, New Jersey, at that VA, which is the one I went to. There's one in San Antonio, Texas, and one on the West Coast at San Diego. So you go there, do about a week of tests, all kinds of blood tests and all that stuff. All kinds of other machines to read, do neurological readings and all kinds of stuff to see what the extent of uh, exposure related, war related, exposure related illnesses and injuries like it is. So, um, and that's when I got the diagnosis. It was 2017. I have a whole video talking about that from the whole initial exposure to present on my channel that I've talked about that. But it's a very uncomfortable and painful time. It's not enjoyable. So a lot of the time, if I am exposed to like cross contaminated stuff or something does end up happening to have a little some gluten in it, whether it was because it was in the same fryer as something with gluten or whatever, that kind of thing. Like it's a lot of abdominal pain, bloating, and bathroom visits. It's not fun. Um, Hydro dip the Kydex, yeah. Well, yeah, that's another option, Justin B. So, again, Lark and anyone else that has good standing with a hydro dip company, like send their info my way. I'd love to talk to them because I'd be more than happy to license with them to do that. Covert gluten allergies. It's not an allergy. I'm intolerant. It's not an allergy. Some people are allergic. Some people have celiac disease. Some people have other kinds of rare allergies. I am intolerant because of damage done, permanent damage done to my body from a toxic exposure injury. Um, Started when stopped adding real grain on breads. Well, yeah, or enriched stuff. Again, the biology changed with agriculture over time as much as what they're doing chemically to enrich stuff and alter things and whatever else, Enriching strips all the nutrients of grain, exactly. And bodies have a harder time extracting from it. Thus, people can't eat it. That's a big part of it. Yes. Yes, hydro dip. Yep. Again, Justin B, Lark, whoever, Covert, whoever else, if you've got info for hydro dippers, send them my way. Same with milk. Yeah, yeah. I've got several friends that are lactose intolerant. I'm not, thankfully, but they're horribly lactose intolerant. Yep. Nope. Gen X. Nope. Not that easy. One round left. What's up, dude? Thanks for tuning in. I answered your community post question earlier. To recap real quick, no real experience with their 30 super carry. It's a niche round. I need to get my hands on it and see what it's all about. It's not an issued caliber. It's not, anything. So I have no real standing on it. It's a barely a blip on the radar to me. So it's a good question though. No, not that easy, Gen X. Yeah, it sucks, man. You know, so I'm trying to make do with what I can, but it's because the cost of everything is going up. It's not easy. So, oh no, no, you're good. You're good, Covert. I mean, there's multiple avenues, lanes that goes down. As far as what it entails with somebody who does have kind of a negative reaction to it. With whatever condition it is. So. Mine's a lot more rare than a lot of other people's. So, because it's not genetic, it's not you know um, an onset allergy, otherwise or whatever. It's just total intolerance because of actual damage done. So, Justin B. They said your son's lactose intolerant. Been working on it a few years. It's not as bad now. It's rough. Oh, I'm sure. Milk farts, cheese farts have got to be. I feel bad for any of my. I mean, we're the cheese mecca up here. I feel bad for any of my friends who are lactose intolerant because cheese is a huge staple in our diet up here. So it's like, damn, dude. Gen X, yeah, worst condition you have is eczema. Yeah, I mean, and you're thankfully you're able to use certain specialty uh shampoos and soaps and things like that. You have to avoid certain other things that can exasperate it, obviously. I know someone who's like horribly allergic to zinc. It's really interesting. And but they have severe breakouts in eczema whenever they're exposed to zinc. And zinc is like in a lot of stuff to include like cereal and all that stuff, like large amounts of it. It's interesting. Yeah, exactly, Joseph. Eat a lot of cheese, man. It's rough, dude. It is. One round left. Bursitis. I mean, that's not fun. I feel your pain. My knees and back are jacked up too from working in the line of work I have for the last 20, 21, 22 years. My knees and back are not great. My hips were thrashed for a while too on that last triple canopy contract I was on. It was awful. It took me over a year for my hips to just stop hurting, no matter what I did. It sucked. Yeah, stress can too, Gen X. Yeah, absolutely. Stress can induce eczema. Yeah, a lot of stress. You're telling me, bro. Exactly, Covert. I eat cheese by the block, dude. We have such good cheese up here. Meat and cheese. Meat and cheese. It's pinnacle diet. Pinnacle diet, man. Meat and cheese. Drink to that. Cheers. There's a local cheese place by me called the Mouse House, Maushaus. Um, they have a morel and leek infused cheese. Holy crap, is it bougie, and it's delicious. You add that to like a really nice chili or like on a charcuterie with some prosciutto or something. Holy crap, dude. Really, really, really good. Yeah, cheese please. Yeah, absolutely. You have not had a beer cheeseburger in a long time. Dude, beer cheese. Fortunately, I can't do beer cheese, but well, unless it's gluten-free beer, but beer cheese is awesome. Yeah, one round you'd wreck an organic cheese farm. Dude, bro, let me tell you, we are the cheese mecca here. Uh, we're so there's on average 2 to 3 bars for every church, and there's a lot of them here. Just as many liquor stores, and about twice as many of any of those cheese outlets, cheese emporiums, and just cheese aisles in our grocery stores here. Like, it's a lot. It's awesome. Yeah, exactly. As the gods intended. Dude, it's so good. Such good cheese. And we get really good imports. There's good imports from other places too. I do like Kerrygold and the Irish cheeses and stuff, and we get good Scandinavian cheeses. But we also have a lot of really good cheese. Obviously, a lot of really good cheesemakers. Some that make the Scandinavian style cheeses too, right here in the state. And it's just Justo or Justoleppa, Juusto. That is a baked, kind of a white cheddar, but like a baked farmer's cheese. Freaking delicious. Go get some Justo. Super, super, super good. You heat it up, cut it up, eat it with some crackers or melt it over whatever. Like, delicious. Gen X, have you ever visited Cheese Capital? You wouldn't shit for a week, dude. Yeah, yeah. That's why you balance it out with beer and meat and a little bit of good fried food. And Friday fish fries are a staple here. Fried cheese curds. You can balance it out with some grease to keep things moving. You know what I'm saying? Tennessee has Nashville hot chicken, Jack and Mountain Dew. Yep. Jack Link's beef jerky. So the HQ is also here in the state. Um, Nashville hot chicken's good, dude. I like Nashville hot chicken. Um, Makes sense. You gotta be good at drinking up there. It's always cold. Yeah, yeah. Brandy old fashions are the state drink. Let alone everything else good that we have. Keeps you warm. It's a little libation, little incentive, whatever it is. Like it's all good. Do you think Brandon Herrera will be elected to Congress? Yes, because his opponent, the one main opponent, is having a bunch of health issues right now. I don't think they're even going to be able to. They may not even be able to run. But yeah, I think Brandon's actually going to get in. Gen X might have to hit a White Castle. Hell yeah, we only have one White Castle in the state, and it's over in is it Racine, Kenosha, right in that area on the east side of the state, just north of the state line. White Castle, I do miss White Castle. I can't eat White Castle because I don't have gluten free options, but I do miss White Castle. I would smash a whole lot of sliders. Martin G. Blast, what's up, dude? Thanks for tuning in. Shirt of the day. You already know. Leviathan, man. Cover breakout. Where'd you get visit Iceland? Dude, it's on my bucket list, man. I really want to go. I had a trip planned, but then all the travel restrictions happened, some years back because of the thing, and wasn't able to go. But I need to go to Iceland. Best fish and lamb you've had in a long time, dude. Yeah, and I love both those things, so I can't wait to go. And Lark is lactose. Yeah, there's another one. Literally able to run. Well, yeah, it's a difficult one right left. Lark, too much cheese or too much milk, and you'll be in that bathroom for hours. Yep, I feel you, man. Yeah, well, quite a few White Castles. Didn't White Castle originate in Indiana or was it Ohio? It was one of the two. This is where White Castle started, so I would expect a lot to be down there. And I still like White Castle more than Crystal Burger too. If anyone knows Crystal Burger from the South, it's like a southern, cheaper Southern White Castle. I like White Castle more than Crystal Burger. I don't mind Crystal though, with K. Crystal Burger. Justin B went to White Castle and they finally opened up, and holy crap, there was an expensive little burger. Yeah, everything's gone up in price, and it sucks. But I would smash a whole mess of sliders when I could still eat them. Now, Arby's, I love Arby's. A lot of people don't like Arby's. I don't know why. Arby's is awesome. I love Arby's. It says on the Arby's website that they offer gluten-free options, but any time that I call ahead to an Arby's in my area, they don't fucking have gluten-free buns. Sorry, it pisses me off because I have not had Arby's in 9 years. Yeah, because it's 2020. I got diagnosed 2017. Yeah, 9 years. I hate it. I want some Arby's really bad. Their French dips are really good too, actually. But Arby's melts. I would smash a bunch of Arby's melts. They're so good. Gen X, nothing good originates from Indiana. I mean, I can't really think of anything. Tires? Goodyear tires? Aren't they Indiana? I don't know. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else really that comes from Indiana besides that. Crystal Burger sucked. I mean, it used to be a lot better. I mean, I haven't had Crystal Burger. Last time I had Crystal Burger was 2008 when I was still stationed in Georgia. That does not exist up here, so it's probably gotten worse over time, unfortunately. Yeah, Arby's, dude. I love Arby's, man. I can't fucking eat it because none of the franchises around here carry what they're supposed to carry for options. Sorry, it bothers me. Covert, bro. It's like $18 to get a halfway decent burger at Red Robin, 22 ounce and tip, and you're $30 for one person. Yeah, it is. Red Robin does have good burgers. We've got a really good local burger place up here called Monty's Blue Plate Diner. Their burgers are really good. They're pretty expensive too now, unfortunately, but I do like Red Robin though. Culver's is the staple homegrown fast food place up here, and they offer gluten-free buns. So I always have a W with Culver's, and they have the best fast food burgers anyway. You know, that kind of that bridge between fast food and a dine-in restaurant still, but best quality. You can't go wrong with butter burgers. Their mushroom Swiss burgers are really good too. Uh, their fish, really good fish. They always have fish on tap too. Their chicken sandwiches are good. Like everything about Culver's is good. Uh, Screw Chick-fil-A. Culver's beats it out. It blows it out of the water. We don't have it in out here. I think there's 3 Shake Shacks in the entire state. I have yet to eat at one because they're expensive too for no reason. Culver's. Culver's is the way up here. Corn. Yeah, yeah, corn. So the gluten-free beer here, the Hiking Boots Blonde Ale. So it's made with malted millet, rice, hops, and yeast. So pretty good. Yeah, Justin. Arby's has their beer cheeseburger right now. That's what made you think about it. Problem is, most Arby's are not carrying the gluten-free buns like they're supposed to be. Bastards. I'm not happy about it because I really want some Arby's. Really want some Arby's. You shut your filthy mouth, Gen X. Culver's was good the first time and you had it. It hasn't been good since. Liar! You liar! It might just be a quality control issue at your local Culver's, but up here in the heartland of Culver's, peak. Peak. Everyone's got an Arby's right up the road. I mean, Arby's is not that far from me here, but I can't freaking go eat there because they don't have gluten-free buns, even though they're supposed to. It says right on the Arby's website. That's why Culver's wins out, but Culver's doesn't have the same. They don't have, they don't have the Arby's meats. I want Arby's. I have craved Arby's for 9 years. I don't think most people understand how how much of a mental odyssey that is to have a craving like that and not be able to scratch that itch. it's it, it's torturous. It is. Probably just your shitty luck, Gen X. I mean, maybe. Like I said, it might just be the people working at that Culver's near you suck. I don't know. Culver's does not suck. Far from it. Again, best fast food burgers out there. Butter burgers, baby. Just lark, dude. Or if you were really $20 for 4 tacos, Taco Bell. Oof. Ridiculous. I can't really eat Taco Bell either. Yeah, they've got hard shell. I don't like hard shell tacos. The only exception is the cheesy gordita crunch, but I can't eat the gordita. I like soft shell tacos. Can't eat them. Like, this is what I get at. This is what I was getting at earlier when I was saying like I'm not able to just go to a lot of places. It's not feasible. Covert should sue them for lifetime gluten-free burgers. Well, Arby's, dude. I should talk to them more and reach out and be like, hey, you guys really need to require this at all your locations. Culver's does. I can eat Culver's because they have gluten-free buns, and theirs are good too. I should reach out to Arby's and be like, hey, none of the spots around me have them. So what the fuck? Fix your shit. Um, Gen X is still eat at Culver's, hoping to get a burger like the first one. Kind of sounds like addiction, dude. And maybe you just have to come up here and get one where they're made right. I would bet that if you go to a different Culver's near you, because I know there's a bunch in Indiana, like you probably have a better experience. Justin B, if I was you wanting to eat some Arby's for that many years, I would definitely pull the bullshit. Where well, since you guys never over the bun, the guy's supposed to have charge me a $1.25 less. Yeah, but for what? I'm still not getting a sandwich. I'm not getting a bun. I'm not getting buns. Like, and it's a pain. It's a serious pain because like the one that I tried to just order some of the meat. It's a problem too because I tried to just order some of the meat and like they'll kind of do it, but at the same time like they won't. It's weird. It's like, oh, maybe I can get some gluten-free buns at the store and assemble it at home, which is stupid. I hate that. Like I'm paying for that convenience. Um and being fresh and hot and everything, and then I can't, then they don't give me the cheese sauce or anything with it. It's a problem. The whole thing's a problem. Stick it to him. DJ needs his meats. I do. Give me meat. Give me meat. I need it. I miss. But that's the thing. It's a reoccurring thing. Like a lot of places that I go to, So that's why I just can't go to them anymore, or um, you know, meeting up with friends or whatever, and then they're all like, hey, let's go here, and I was like, no, I can't. So Gen X, have been to 3 of them around there, still waiting on another good one. Either Indiana's dropping the ball or you need to burn off all your taste buds and start over. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, man. Arby's or Culver's is great. Culver's is great. I never. I've only ever had a one bad Culver's experience, and that's because whoever they had on the grill made a hockey pucks out of the burger patties, and I was rather pissed about that. Linchpin. Nope, not a cannabis guy. Just some based Turkish Royals, my friend. Good to see you, by the way, Coyote. Good to see you, brother. I'm glad you're here. Sonic is good. We have a couple of Sonics that still exist here. A&W still exists here too. Um, you get the corn dog bites and the fries with the cheese sauce from A&W. Goated combo. I can't eat those anymore either because obviously they're breaded. You know some strippers that smoke Turkish Royals? Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. And I like the gold classics. Are actually my go-to, but just so happened that got hooked up with some Royals, so I was like, hey, cool, wonderful chocolate overtones, man. Were they cute strippers? I mean, give me some details. Been a hot minute since you had Sonic. Yeah, I mean, well, Sonic Chili Dog. I mean, come on, goes hard. You have B and K. What's B and K? Burger King or like something else? I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know what B and K is. Never had a good experience at Sonic. Just MB. That's rough. Isn't there a bunch of Sonics down there in Florida? Like, oh, Gen X. He had to switch to Mahal Mall because camels are expensive. Yes, they are. But nothing. There's nothing better. I can't do Pall Malls. They're nasty. B&K root beer stand. Never heard of it. Never heard of it. Yeah, Red Robin burgers. I mean, those are definitely your top end bougie. Without we have a lot of good like local mom and pop burger joints around here too. Some are definitely expensive too, but yeah, Red Robin burgers are good. They're just expensive. That's why Culver's reigns supreme. Several Sonic around you, but they suck. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, man. Get a pack of Camels as a treat every now and then. Yep, there you go. Yeah, there we go too. Started well, I turned 18. My dad was into cigars, so I have cigars every once in a while. With my dad, I turned 18. I have cigars and stuff. And I joined the army and started on Cowboy Killers and Marb Reds. Then went to Marb Lights, then Camel Blues, and then yeah, I've been with Camel Turkish Golds and Royals for a while now. So that was my go-to. You don't smoke covert. You don't smoke when you have a drunk. Sings those American Spirits. Oh, menthol. Oh God, American Spirits is so goddamn harsh, man. Whataburger does not exist here, Lynchpin, and they are inferior to Culver's. Last time I had a Whataburger was in Texas, a long time ago. Long time ago, the '90s. Uh, Culver's is the goat for fast food burgers. We don't have In-N-Out here either. We have, I think, it's 3 Shake Shacks in the entire state. I still haven't eaten at one because they're expensive too. At some point, I'll try one because I do believe they have gluten-free bun options. Um, but yeah, no, Culver's is the go-to. They're just too good. Justin B, when Red Robin was like $12, it was a go to Camel Turkish Red. No, see, the Camel Turkish Red are the new formula ones, and they are not nearly as good as the classics. Either the golds, which are like the yellow pack now with the new recipe or whatever. No, it's you gotta go with the classics. Don't like the I don't like the new recipe. It doesn't taste the same. Gen X ate so much Sonic on your Route 66 trip. Fuckers are everywhere. Yeah, along the Route 66 belt. Yeah, they are. But I think we've got maybe 4 in the entire state up here now for Sonics. There's one on the west side of the city that I'm in. There's not any on this side. We also have a Portillo's here again, which is a Chicago-based chain. It's like Italian beef sandwiches and stuff. They're really good. They don't have gluten-free options either, so I can't eat there either. Steak Shake, not a thing here. Never had Steak and Shake. Not a thing here. Culver's is the goat. Dairy Queen flamethrower burgers. If a DQ exists anywhere near anyone, we still have a couple around, but they're definitely far and few in between now. But Dairy Queen flamethrower burgers are also awesome. I can't eat those anymore now either, though, unfortunately, because they don't have gluten-free bun options. Giant Gemini, Steak Shake as you go to after closing out the city bar. There you go. Portillo says Chicago style hot dogs. Yep. Yep. Vienna beef hot dogs are the best hot dogs in the world. Yes. They even beat out like Shermake and some of those other brands. Vienna beef hot dogs are the best hot dogs in the world. But Portillo's, I believe Portillo's makes their own hot dogs, which are also really good. But they're known for their Italian beef sandwiches, which are fantastic. And then some other one chain that did make its way up here from Texas was Papados, which is part of the conglomerate like Papacitos, Cantina, and some of those. With Papados is like the seafood place, and they do like Cajun fare stuff aside from like standard seafood. There's one of those in Chicago. Papados is pretty good. I'll say that's a different. The Vienna sausages, but that's a different brand. But yes, Vienna sausages are pretty OP as far as like field food and stuff and emergency food and stuff. Lynchpin, absolutely agree. But those are well, the one brand is what Armor or Amore. There's like one or two other brands of Vienna sausages out there, but it's not the same thing. The brand Vienna Beef. Their beef hot dogs are amazing. If you can get them, try them. Gen X, you have 2 DQs within 15 miles. Hell yeah, dude. Go get a flamethrower burger. The flamethrower burger is where it's at for DQ. I talk about food quite a bit on my live streams too, Gen X. I do. Mayo. Where's Andrew? Yeah, I don't know. He's probably doing something right now. I shared the live stream link with him, so I don't know. We'll see if he pops in. Mayo gang. Missouri Survival. Hey, Chris. Thanks for tuning in, man. Get some of those Prairie Belt Vienna sausages, a little literal trash in a can. I don't think I've ever had that brand. I don't think no, they don't sell those around here. I'll take your word for it, though. He said he will come. Hashtag Mayo Gang. Mayo Gang. Kipper Gang. Kippers. Polar brand Kippers. King Oscar is good too, but Polar brand Kippers. Kipper snacks are. They're awful, dude. I'll take your word for it, man. I will be sure to avoid that brand. Mayo lives matter. We do not discriminate. We love mayo and aioli here. Condiment Crew. CC. Cannibal Corpse. Condiment Crew. Get it? Hell yeah. Well, it's cool. It's cool more people popped in. So if anyone wants to see updates on the Frag T Camo stuff, they'll have to replay. I talked about that quite a bit earlier. And yeah. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, see? 4D chess, man. 4D chess all the time. Justin B. Oh, you're making kimchi right now? Nice, dude. I've still got some of that phenomenal lemon pepper sauerkraut in my fridge. I have leftover. I made Mexican rice and beans with spicy meat and stuff last night, and I've got a bunch of that left over. I'll be eating later. It's all 666D chess now. Hell yeah. Metal as fuck up in this bitch. Cheers, everyone. You ate homemade sandwich spread. Ooh, nice. I got some really good deli meat the other day. Smoked peppered turkey, and then deli pepperoni. It was really good. You can still have a little bit of that left too, but it's not a sandwich tonight. I'll be eating Mexican rice and beans left over. Delicious. So for the rice, I use jasmine rice, and then season it with dill, parsley, diced onions, garlic salt. Cook the rice, and then with the meat. So obviously your paprika, garlic, onion powders, and then I use hot sauces. I don't necessarily go for chili spices, unless I'm feeling like making it a lot hotter. But I'll use hot sauces. So I really like the Hot Ones Classic Verde, which has a good amount of heat, but where other people can still eat it that aren't chili heads like I am. And then brown the beef with all that, and then or some other kind of hot sauce, whatever. But that's one I use a lot. And then black beans. Not a big fan of like pinto and kidney and stuff. I'll eat them, but always for like Mexican beans and rice and stuff, like black beans. Proper frijoles. And then I'll do roasted tomato and chilies. Put that in there too, and then a big old thing of just a bunch of cheese, and then mix it all up, and fantastic. How many metalheads do we have in here? At least 3, 4. I mean, I think everyone in here listens to metal, so. Linchpin, thoughts on the new Loogie Screamo bands? Do you mean like modern deathcore or the emo, like screamo revival going on? Like which one? Like I don't know. Modern deathcore. I mean, there's a couple of bands that I'll listen to, but I mean, I like a lot more like your MySpace golden era deathcore stuff. Old stuff. Salt the Wound, I Declare War. All that stuff. Newer bands like Signs of the Swarm and Distant are both really good. Older Lorna Shore stuff is okay, but I mean it's whatever. I don't listen to a lot of that. I'm much more privy to like death metal, brutal death metal, technical death metal, black and death metal, avant-garde stuff. A lot of extreme metal like that. Some gore grind. And I like again, like for when it comes to like deathcore, metalcore, and all that, like the older golden era, first wave MySpace era stuff is much better than the current stuff as far as those subgenres go. Justin B had a bottle of Hot Ones last dab for like a year. Nice, that stuff is hot, dude. Pepper X, yeah, dude. That'll get your goat. Yeah, Gen X, yeah, me and Chris for sure. Yeah. Justin B, yeah, you like the 80s stripper rock, you boomer. No, there's only one 80s band. Slayer. Fucking Slayer! Come on. Slayer. Always Slayer. I'll allow some Man of War too. It's okay. um, Lawfully Armed. What's up, dude? Thanks for tuning in. Cover breakout. Wife's family makes homemade sauerkraut from scratch. Oh hell yeah, dude! I love sauerkraut. I used to hate it as a kid, but it was like a switch flip when you turn 18. It was like sauerkraut's great. Shred everything by hand, let it ferment in a vat, can everything. Yeah, dude, that's the way. Dude, try a lemon pepper infusion with your sauerkraut. Oh, it's super good. Commuting home, but you're listening. Okay, well, drive safe, brother. Of course, I remember Nuclear Assault, Gen X. One of the OG thrash metal bands. Like them, Testament. Um, some newer thrash is okay too. Obviously, like Havoc, Municipal Waste, um, Vector, which is kind of more fusion, more on like your progressive or technical metal mixed with thrash. I like Vector. Artificial Brain kind of has that crossover going too. Artificial Brain's really good. Check them out. But yeah, of course I remember Nuclear Assault. They're still around doing things. Annihilator too. I know one of the former guitarists of Annihilator. Um, lives up in Canada. But yeah, they're still around doing things. Yep, Slayer did do a thing in the NASCAR race. I don't give a shit about NASCAR, but Slayer. Every once in a while, they still kind of do a thing, even though they're technically done now. But I'm glad to see that they're doing the things. I mean, Slayer is timeless. Covert. Just your wife was raised in the 80s. River Rock. Her dad blasted CDs on the stereo in the night. She was sleep trained by it. All they need to do is blast Def Leppard, Poison, and she's out. White Snake, Cinderella, all that stuff, the 80s. My mom listened to a lot of that. My dad listened to some of it too. He's more of a Rush guy. Um, Eric Johnson, Jim Croce, Gordon Lightfoot, all that. My mom was more the AC/DC side, and the hair bands and all that. Hell yeah, Bolt Thrower, Gen X. Of course, Bolt Thrower. Are you kidding me? Come on. Ultimate MK Ultra movie, man. Linchpin, yes. Angel Maker. I like Angel Maker. Dude, their cover of As Blood Runs Black they did a little while back, like 2 years ago. Freaking great. I like Angel Maker. Yeah. Johnny Sardulo and those guys, like they do some cool stuff. Prong. I mean, I put Prong more into like that bracket with like, Monster Magnet, Corrosion of Conformity, Clutch, you know, bridging that like southern rock, alt rock kind of stuff. They're not really like not as extreme as I like, you know. They're fun to listen to though. And I mean, I love doom metal too, whether it's Electric Wizard or Bong Ripper or um a Ahab, um Buried at Sea, Bell Witch. And then I play in a bunch of bands. They're all listed in the about section in my YouTube channel. Like there's a whole list with links to all the bands I'm in. I'm in a funeral doom metal band. I'm in a black and death metal band. I have a brutal death metal project. I'm in a bunch of different projects in different subgenre styles. Venom, OG Venom, because I mean Venom is two bands now. You got but like Venom AD and then Venom. But yeah, old Venom. I mean, that's fine. Old Bathory. Windir. I like Windir a lot. Windir. If anyone knows Windir. Um, yeah, there's a bunch of great classic stuff out there. Emperor, old Emperor is great. A lot of people don't like it because it's obviously that first wave lo-fi black metal stuff, but Venom also originally bridging into that first wave black metal. You quit listening to them, that should happen every time. Fair. Lynchman Supply, it's Iraq 2005. You just played a Disturbed CD. Time to put on Liquid 82. No. Okay, Lynchpin. So I packed 5 CDs into my green weenie when I was in the army right around that time period. Darkest Hour, Undoing Ruin. Gorgoroth, Twilight of the Idols. Morbid Angel, Heretic. Goat Whore, A Haunting Curse. Amon Amarth versus the World. I may have had one more, but those were the CDs that I packed in my green weenie duffel that I took with me. And then like some dudes would bring other ones and stuff. That's what I took. Undoing Ruin is such a good album, but Darkest Hour. I think that and Deliver Us are still their best albums besides Hidden Hands of a Sadist Nation, which was the album before Undoing Ruin. Amon Amarth versus the World, that is still the best Amon Amarth album in my opinion. Versus the World. Everyone needs to go listen to that album. Yeah. Morbid Angel, can't go wrong with Morbid Angel. Anything Morbid Angel. Yeah, Gorgoroth, Twilight of the Idols. That was like one of the most vicious black metal albums I had heard at the time. You know, as far as like that kind of second wave went at that time. That was just a killer lineup. That album's awesome. The Goat Whore album, A Haunting Curse. Honestly, that album, great album, but not very memorable to me personally. One of my other bandmates is a huge Goat Whore fan. In Aposticum, Jake, he's a huge Goat Whore fan. A Haunting Curse is my favorite album of theirs, and like I had it on CD for the longest time. I may still have it somewhere. I can't remember, but I had that with me, but like nothing really ever stuck with me, like as far as like off that album. Woohoo! Yeah, Vor. Yeah, I know of Vor lawfully. Yeah, go to Green Weenie War Tunes, dude. Yeah, it is like like other dudes that bring like Entombed, because we had a really cool circle of like metalheads, you know, in our platoon, um, in our sister platoon. So like yeah, like dudes bring like Entombed. Another dude brought some Dimmy Borgir. You know, obviously Slayer. So one dude had a Metallica album. You know, like it was just a whole mix of stuff. You know, so it was nice. We had options. You know. Yes, I have Gen X. I've seen the funny dad metal. There's a bunch of comedy parody stuff like that out there that you can find. Yeah, there were all kinds of great tunes that we were able to pack in our bags, and then DVDs too. I still collect DVDs, obviously, aside from CDs. This giant monolith of almost 1,000 CDs right here. Still buy DVDs. I like having tangible collections. Everyone should, especially with all the booty sweat that you see going on with all your pay to play streaming services out there now. But yeah, I still buy DVDs. But yeah, a lot of dudes had DVDs too. You know, a couple of dudes would manage to bring like the mini DVD players and stuff with the RCA adapters and all that. So we'd be able to have squad platoon movie nights and stuff on occasion, not terribly often, but on occasion. Yeah, yeah, it's pretty funny, Gen X. This is pretty funny. um, yeah, like all that kind of stuff, and like that's the other thing people don't understand. You know, digital cameras. Like, I think it probably averaged about 2 digital cameras per platoon, kind of thing, maybe 3. A lot of us had disposable cameras, um, and then occasionally you had to do with the cassette camcorder. Like that was that time period. You know, that's what we had. So it's not like nowadays with your phone and everything. Like iPods and Zunes were just more becoming a thing then, you know? Facebook just came into existence. Like all that kind of stuff. Like that's that time period, you know. It's not that long ago. People don't realize it, you know. but that's what we had. So I'm all for the tangible. You got to keep it tangible. I don't have any as far as consumer end. I don't have any subscription services. I don't do that. Um, as a musician, I have one service that I subscribe to, to put my music on that platform. But there's a well, two technically. One's DistroKid for all the major streaming platforms, and then the other is Ampwall. Um, Bandcamp is free for artists and fans to set up accounts on for a sales and streaming distribution platform. Um, Again, that's all linked in the about section of my channel. If anyone wants to check any of that stuff out. But yeah, no, I prefer tangible. I've got a fairly decent cassette collection, but I'm actually selling that off because I don't do cassette tapes that much anymore as far as music goes. Yeah, Gen X. I'm old enough to have used a Polaroid. I turned 40 this year, so I mean, I'm right in that bridge. And Polaroids are coming back. People still are using Polaroids. Like, you can still get them, like new ones. Along with the packs of film. Cover it. The pre-workout is hitting too hard for you right now. You got to start letting out some banshee screams and pig squeals in the gym here for a second. Yeah, dude, go blast some dying fetus. And I think you and I listed a bunch of other stuff in the group chat, music wise. So a lot to pick from there. But if you don't listen to Dying Fetus, fuck you. Hey, what's up, Ogre? You are here. Welcome. Thanks for tuning in. 40, I'm still a puppy. I don't feel like it. Yeah, I go over the hill this year. It's kind of wild to think about. Yeah, I was born mid '80s. You know, Covert. You have several Polaroids in film. Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome. So I've got a nice camera. Obviously, it's digital. I've got a Canon SX540 HS, and that's what I use for making a majority of my YouTube videos. But like for photography, too, because I like doing photography. I've got a nice Canon camera. I like that thing. Gen X will be 53 in a couple of weeks. Boomer. Hey, that's cool, man. That's cool. Ogre, you turned 43 in July last year, so you turned 44 this July. Okay. Makes you feel any better? I mean, it was whatever. We're all kind of in that same relative bracket. But that's just how it is. Right on, Covert. Yeah. You're a cool Canon user. Dude, Canon, I used to have a Nikon DSLR. Um, the was it the DS 450 or 4500, whatever. I don't know, it's been a long time. That thing is sitting at the bottom of the lake right now because the whole camera bag when we were in a boat, whoop, just off the bow, out of the fishing boat, right into the drink. Ain't getting it back. That was a long time ago. So I ended up getting a Canon. Yeah, we got a GoPro too, but I don't really use it all that much. Yeah, Canons are great cameras, man. Those EOSs are awesome as well, but I like my SX540 HS. It's a solid camera. Touche, Gen X. Touche. You're right on the cusp, man. You're right on the cusp. I did, Ogre. You're gonna have to go replay from the beginning. I talked about gas prices pretty much at the beginning. Um, And again, anyone wanting updates on the Fractee stuff, I answered that question as well earlier, so you'll have to replay later back. Um, just a quick round out again, talking about the Fractee stuff. So different companies want different types of materials. I'm in the process of getting a second licensed textile materials provider and printer on board. That's MMI Textiles. They're a much larger company than Rainier Fabrics, which is the current licensed. print to order provider. They both offer different types of materials in a wide range. So that whole process, it's taking a while. I'm dealing with a large contract and industrial scale company with them in my textiles. And it's taking a while. I'm waiting for them to get some greige or undyed material in so we can do test printing. Both DDP, direct digital print, and sublimation. Rainier does sublimation, which with good dyes, it is NAR compliant. And the prior NIR test video, night vision test video proves that. Um, so working on getting MMI textiles, we're going to be doing the test printing here soon, and then finish the licensing process, and then more companies will be able to get the nylon that they want, even webbing, some laminates, and ripstop for uniforms. Rainier offers the materials for your cold weather apparel stuff, your fleeces, stuff like that, and your waterproof, your hydrophobic windbreaker for jackets and tarps and shelters, ponchos, and your 600 and 1000D waterproof soft goods for tactical gear as well as other stuff. So, different parts of the market, different material types, different provisions. It's just based on what a partner company wants for materials to manufacture stuff. There's a list of partners on the website, fractcamo.com, also in the About section of my channel. So all that's going on. And there's a handful more companies that are coming on board as partners here very shortly, offering various products. Covert, you have two 6Ds and L glass. Damn professional prices. Dude, yeah, that's expensive. Those lenses are expensive, dude. Very nice, though. Very nice, bro. I'll approve. You're right in the middle of Gen X. Happy to be yeah, I'm right at the back end of it, right at the edge of Gen X and millennial there. Gen X, do I have any merch to advertise my camo? No, I am not doing any retail of any kind on my end. I'm dealing with the intellectual property, the trademark, the licensing, and all that stuff. So partner companies that manufacture goods are the ones that offer anything related to that kind of stuff. I did get a couple of shirts printed and stuff, and I have business cards and all that, and that's just for like street team stuff and whatever. When I do end up starting to hit the expo and convention circuit and stuff, your textile and defense expos, all that kind of stuff, all the gear company, get-togethers and stuff. Maybe eventually some sponsored events, that we'll have a tent set up at and everything. But that's pretty far off because I need to be making way more money in order to even do that kind of stuff. Um, so yes, the anoraks are coming. The initial market prototypes should be getting into the hands, should be finished with the partner that's going to be making those here very soon. He just updated me the other day. It should be any day now. So hopefully some pictures will be coming soon on the anoraks. As far as merch, like branded merch, otherwise, Gen X, like I'm not really interested in that. I mean, maybe in the future I'll do some runs of like some stickers and things like that, but my website and my platform, I just not doing any retail. I'm handling all the big end, the licensing, and getting the partners that do manufacture and retail products with my camo patterns and stuff. It's a lot different. It's a lot different than a lot of the companies out there that are just buying Chinese made t-shirts, getting a screen printer and putting their stuff on it. It's a lot different than that. I'm only working with American companies, American made companies, and as much as possible, the base materials are all American sourced as well. Because I value berry compliance, and that's a value and priority of many for the brand. So I'm not like a lot of those companies. I'm not doing the same thing as those companies out there that are just slapping their stuff on whatever. Mine is from the ground up is this intellectual property, these camouflage patterns that then go to licensed printers and then to manufacturers to make goods and products and stuff. Um, within with branding tags and all that, much like how Cordura does it with theirs, how any tactical apparel or soft goods manufacturer does, putting their sewing their fabric tag on stuff, same kind of deal. So it's I'm not a screen printing company, I'm not any of that. It's all at scale textile provision of camouflage patterns to the tactical markets and defense industry and stuff, and streetwear. If people want it, because the materials are available. So if people want to get the print to order, want to get some materials for various things to make hoodies or whatever in a full print camouflage pattern, they can get it because the materials are available with Rainier Fabrics. Gaiters, baklavas, the material is available. Other athletic wear, the material is available. So it's that kind of stuff. So it's the manufacturers here in the U.S. that make that stuff. They get that and they make it and they retail it. It's all licensing. It's all licensing and IP management based on my end, apart from the marketing that I do and supporting all of my partners and just the industry in general. Covert, when you're able to get yours, yeah, send me as many high res photos of the Anorak as you wish. Hell yeah, dude. Free fitty. I'm looking forward to. So Justin B has the Risky Recondo rig prototype right now, the LERP rig. So whenever he's done making his, because he picked up some FL pattern, some Florida Man, some FL pattern camo print material. So whenever he makes his rig, he's going to be sending the Risky Recondo rig prototype and all the notes and everything to you and Tin Man Metal, so that you guys have the prototype to be able to refine it based on the notes that I have, and then further from there to then get to making a market ready product that you can scale for production. So that's coming soon too. But I'm looking forward to when the Anoraks do drop. um, outside of the initial um, market prototypes currently and stuff, and then the pre-orders uh, scale out and everything. Like I'm really looking forward to seeing people pick them up. It's gonna be awesome. Um, yeah, it is awesome, Gen X. It's a lot of work, starting a business from the ground up like this and doing it on this side of the industry, which is not common. How many newer camo companies can you name off in the US? There's three. There's me. There's Nemesis, who has been out for a couple of years now, and then there's Gila Conceal, I know him. He's down in Arizona. He's got a really cool series of patterns too. Those are currently the only three, and Gila Conceal isn't really too available right now. But he does offer hoodies and stuff. Um, those are the only three US camo really in the last like 5-10 years, new camo brands that have come onto the market. There may be, I think there's another one or two kind of one-offs, like the one dude Slade, who used to be with GBRS, but he does his own thing now, SC Irregulars. He did his own camo, but it's not really in wide scale like access really. He's got a couple of partners, but it's not super wide scale. Um, Everything else is foreign as far as like Pencott, um, Con Camo, like Ghost Hood and all that, Miltech. Those are all foreign camos. Along with a number of other ones that have kind of come onto the market. That's all foreign stuff. So there's not many US camos, new US camo companies that are coming out, that are doing that thing. Again, there may be one or two smaller ones, just starting kind of out there. But there aren't really any. It's a very niche part of the sector, and it's especially because of the monopoly capitalization in large, really, that multicam has on the market right now, unfortunately. It's very hard, even for a larger company like Nemesis, to really get a foothold and have a stake in things. Um, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited, Covert. Um, it's going to be really cool. I'm really excited to see what you guys do with a polished build of the Risky Recondo rig. It's going to be really fucking cool, man. I'm really excited about it. Um, and the other side of it is these other camo companies, Multicam and Nemesis and stuff included, as well as a lot of the European camo companies and whatnot. Um, a lot of their stuff's being TAA, so foreign printed, China, Vietnam. I'm not doing that. Only US printers. Eventually in the future, there's a UK company I'm looking at to get on board for European access, strictly European access for print and distribution. So that'll happen after MMI Textiles comes on board here in the States. Um, that is a major priority of mine to not compromise my intellectual property, but also not fuel the economic warfare game, and to prioritize strengthening our domestic capabilities and resilience in producing our own stuff. That's a huge, huge principle of mine. Again, one of many that my brand has is to support domestic and and fuel more into increasing the scale of domestic capability and production. So that's super important to me. Hell yeah. Covert, you're going to head out and call Lark. Oh, yeah, okay. All right. Thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate you. We'll talk later in the chat. Get Lark on the signal. Tell Lark to get on signal. Get him in the group. Thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate it. We'll talk later. I only got about 30 minutes left in the live stream here anyway, so and then I'm gonna go eat a whole bunch of food. So um but yeah, that's a big thing. Again, bury compliance as much as possible. Everywhere and anywhere I can. I do. So um that's a big priority of mine. And I get, because it's easy and it's cheap for a lot of companies to then move, go to and have stuff being printed overseas, have stuff being made overseas and all that. Like, I understand just currently economically, logistically, and just appeal wise, financially and stuff, why they do it. But I'm not one of those people. I'm not doing that. So um I think it would be a very positive impression by example to make if a lot of those companies, if those other brands reduced or stopped fueling the economic warfare going on right now, and focus solely on domestic and secure domestic partner uh, manufacturing and sourcing. It's a big ask, but it can be done. So, Gen X, well, you bought a Kydex holster for your Leatherman. Found out it was made in America by veterans. Hell yeah, dude. That's what's up. What brand? Name the brand. Obviously, you can't link it in here. Don't need you getting flagged for spam, but just name the brand, because those are the companies that matter. Those are the ones I want to support. And that's why I still support, even though there's a lot of issues going on with their ordering and shipping and all that right now, like G Code holsters. I'm still a diehard go-to for G Code. I've been using them for a long time. Over Safariland, because Safariland has started to outsource their production to Mexico and other places. Sorry, not going to support it. Clipping something, have to check. Okay, cool. Yeah, let me know, Gen X, because again, American made companies, those are the ones I want to support. And that's why I've had so many good networking experiences and discussions and stuff with uh gear manufacturers and all that that do make everything here in the States and all that, on Instagram and all that. Like, it's been a really positive experience talking with them and supporting them and all that. And that's where the strongest relationships are going to be built, as much as that, again, that principle of fortifying, strengthening, and scaling American capabilities in domestic production. That's insanely important to me. And it's been a really good experience with a lot of those companies. So Clip and Carry. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've heard of them. Clip and Carry. So people wanting some Kydex stuff. It looks like Clip and Carry is all American made as well. So go check them out. Um, that's awesome. That's the kind of stuff that's just, it makes me very happy to see. Um, more companies need to do that. And it's like, so for me on the textile end, like, there's only a few textile mills here in the country. Some specialize in organics, so your cotton and your wool and stuff. And then there's some that do the synthetics, so nylon, poly, and all that. There's not many. Just because something says Cordura does not mean that that mill is in the United States. It's just that it is in the conglomerate of certified partners that produce Cordura materials. A lot of those are in Asia, Korea, China, Vietnam. I think there's a couple in Japan, even India. There's a couple of mills here in the States. Those are Cordura brand certified mills as well. There's a couple in Europe, but that's what I'm getting at. Just because something has a certain brand name on it does not mean necessarily that it's still an American product for base materials. Now, when it comes to my partners, my licensees that are the printers and providers of these textile materials, at every angle, at every corner that they can, is US source materials. That's not necessarily always the case, unfortunately, but it's a lot better than just acquiescing and capitulating to just all foreign access. Uh, Building good standing with the American mills here, and again, scaling the capability, is really important, and that's something that needs to be continually undertaken. But the American quality mills, the mills here, the quality of the stuff is just amazing, with everything that they make. So it's really good to see as well. Just to be made and assembled in the USA mean different things as well. Absolutely, absolutely right. There's a lot of companies that are guilty of that too. Assembled in the USA, that means a good portion of their parts, if not almost all of them, may be made elsewhere. Um, and that does go for actually kind of the opposite way for a couple of companies too. UR Tactical, that makes ops gear like the chest rig I run and things like that. You and 0241 Tactical retails their stuff. It's all assembled in and stitched in Hong Kong, but all the components are actually made in America. All the textiles are made in America and stuff. It's actually pretty cool. Um, I'm kind of okay with that. I would like to see those companies again move manufacturing to the US, so then everything from start to finish is from the US. That would be even better. But that converse does happen too. So you're absolutely right. Assembled in America does not mean made in America. They're two very different things. And that's something a lot of people don't get about the textile industry. So with these Cordura certified mills and stuff, which again, there's only a couple here in the US, the rest are overseas. So when you're getting Cordura stuff, that doesn't mean that it's US made stuff. It's just a brand. It's just a brand of textile blend. So when it comes to textiles otherwise, in general application, yeah, just a B. It is wild. Making it here and using there for cheap labor. That's exactly it. It costs more to ship all that stuff back and forth, which again just doesn't make sense to me. But you look at the prices, and they're pretty on par, and it's well-made stuff. It is. I will give them that. But it's the ethics and the principle of the matter as much as the economic impact matter. When it comes to the textile stuff, so there's obviously the hype craze right now is over laminates. So it's a lighter, thinner nylon or poly that's then got adhesion layering to the back of it, whether it's just one layer or multiple layers. Brands like X-Pack and things like that. A lot of nylon and poly is already a laminate because it has a PU backing on it for waterproofing and for barrier protection, as well as to help strengthen the material a little bit, which is crazy because like 1,000 denier is strong as hell material anyway. That's all we used was 500 and 1,000 denier stuff overseas, just straight up, and it held up just fine. Occasionally here and there you get a rip or a tear because of whatever happened, but you're not getting any really better performance with these laminates that are on the market now that are all the hype train. You're getting several layers of thinner, lighter stuff compacted together, which ends up being a little bit heavier because of all the adhesive and everything than a standard straight up 1,000 denier or 500 or 600 denier. Some of this stuff does not make sense to me. I get this is what some companies want. It's the hype thing. It's going to be offered through the licensed printers. Obviously, the material is going to be provided. But just from a personal perspective and standpoint, and seeing some of the issues with those materials, as well as some of the claims that are made, which just are just patently false, just based on just looking at the material, feeling the material, and testing the material. You have issues with some of these new materials. The adhesives can fail, so then they delaminate, which is a huge issue. Quality of laser cutting matters. You need to reinforce your laser cuts because you can get severe fraying and tearing, which is not as repairable as PALs or Molly, whatever you want to call it. It's not as repairable as PALs, and you run into problems there, and the quality of material otherwise. Weights of materials, there's not really that much of an offset. There really isn't. Anything now, obviously, laser cut PALs, laser cut Molly is lighter than stitched PALs or Molly, but you still have a lot of attachment point systems that still weigh more than a fully stitched construction. My ops rig is fully stitched construction. Pattern 83 battle jacket, fully stitched construction. Things like that. Those are much more bomb proof than all the stuff that has Molly on it. That aside, quality of materials and types of materials do matter. A rugged, waterproof 1,000 denier poly is going to perform the same or even slightly better than a standard 1,000 denier or denier, however you want to pronounce it, nylon. That nylon absorbs moisture. You get waterlogged. The 1,000D poly is waterproof. It is hydrophobic. It does not absorb moisture like nylon does. So it's just like things like that. You know what I'm saying? Tensile strength variation. Nylon is about your standard tactical nylons about 500 pounds per square inch. Poly is only slightly less than that. 1 square inch is smaller than this. 1 square inch is just this by this. You are not putting 500 pounds on that one little point on the standard shell of any of your soft goods. It's ludicrous. So tensile strength is really a non-factor in a lot of ways. When it comes to the support webbing systems, which is why I brought up laser cut and stitched PALs and Molly, that matters a little bit more, but you're not putting 500 pounds on anything on a single row. You're not doing that. It's not happening. No one's carrying 500 pounds of gear. So again, it's a non-issue. But when it comes to these hybrid materials, the efficacy of which, and I get, especially for ultralight stuff, for ultralight backpackers and some types of products, I can understand their application and use, and I'm for it. Obviously, I'm willing to offer whatever X-Pack, prints on X-Pack or whatever that people want. I'm not gonna say no to any of that. But understanding the form, function, durability, and just general end user efficacy and result matters a lot. So a lot of people hype train when they hype train certain products, they really need to do their due diligence in testing that product. Um, and in some cases, they're going to be disappointed by that performance. Other times, it's going to perform phenomenally over a long period of time, and that's great. I'm all for it. But if you can get the same performance out of something that's not as complicated and expensive to make for anyone involved, manufacturer or consumer and end user, why would you not just use that? It makes no sense to me. So again, hype trains deserve scrutiny. The products do deserve scrutiny. So it's just one of those things. Just one of those things as well on that side of textile stuff. um Justin B. I had a pair of shorts that are Cordura and they're like cargo shorts. They've had those things for like 7 years. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dude, these are 511s that I'm wearing right now, which now all 511 stuff is made in Vietnam. These were not that I have. I can't remember where these were made. They make all their stuff in Vietnam now, 511. But I've got 511s, I've got True Specs, I've got a bunch of those brands of stuff, and they've held up for years and years. Yes, Proper, which Proper is all pretty much U.S. made. Um, that includes a Puerto Rico production facility, manufacturing facilities. That's a U.S. territory, so that falls under Berry compliance for being U.S. made. Things like that. Like all that stuff's fine. It is fine. The material itself, if it's well made, it's well made. Part and parcel, kind of the period point on that. If it's well made, it's well made. It's just all the other factors that come into it. Um, 500-1K can make about anything you need. What is that? I don't. 500-1KD. What is that, Justin B? Send me a link in our chat or whatever. Like I'm not sure what you mean by that. Oh, you just mean 500 or 1,000 denier? Like material? Yeah. That's literally all you need. That's all I've used in the field for 22 years. you know? Like it's ridiculous. Yeah, 21 going on 22 years. Like it's ridiculous. I've only ever used 500 and 1,000 denier stuff with nylon and poly stuff. That's all you need. I actually prefer the poly stuff because again, it's waterproof. It doesn't absorb moisture. And again, a lot of clothing is made with poly and poly blends. Overwhites are poly, so they don't absorb moisture. There's a reason for that. Uh, Poly sleeping bags, polyfill. That's polyester fill. That's an insulator that's used commonly now over down duck feathers. A lot more people are allergic to duck feathers. It's like all that kind of stuff. Like people don't realize military issue T-shirts were polyester in part or completely. A lot of other stuff, hockey jerseys, completely polyester. A lot of hoodies are poly blend, cotton and poly blend hoodies, or just full on poly. A lot of your cold weather gear stuff, Polar Tech included, Polar Fleece and all that, is all poly or a hybrid material of poly. Like it's used all the time, right alongside nylon. Nylon was invented in the 30s, 20s or 30s, 1920s or 30s. Poly was invented in the 1950s. Okay, so they're both pretty old material types, synthetic material types, but nylon's even older. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I got what you meant. Finally, Justin B. Yeah, 500 and 1,000 denier, 500, 600, 700, 1,000 denier stuff. That's all great. That's exactly what should be used for Tactical soft goods. You really don't need more than that. It doesn't need to be more expensive with some of these new hybrid products that really don't offer any additional strength or protection. Um, you know, besides being a hype thing again right now and a much higher price point. A a roll of X Pack is ludicrously expensive compared to a standard roll of Cordura 1000 and Cordura 1000 HP or 1000D nylon. Insanely more expensive, like easily three times the cost. And that price then trickles down into the product for the consumer, the buyer, the end user, on top of whatever brand name is getting put on top of it with a markup premium, you know, um, which is definitely a questionable practice by some companies out there. The prices that they're asking for certain things, others much more reasonable, and that's fine. That's business. But the insane markups that you're seeing from some companies, and they're not using anything that's any material wise, it's any better than anyone else's, unless it's super specialized for certain things. But the general material is no different than anyone else's. So the price markup there is insane. Even the cost of labor for American labor and stuff, it should not be costing nearly what it is for some of that stuff. Yeah, exactly. Polybonds are super common. Gen X, your buddy had a down-filled mummy sack, damn thing, and sprung a leak, and then we were camping. Tent was filled with feathers. Yeah. My favorite sleeping bag is my Eureka, which Eureka is out of business, unfortunately. But the Eureka bag I have, the cold weather Eureka bag I have, polyfill, holy crap, is that thing amazing, dude. I'm going to keep that thing in as good a condition as I can for as long as I can. It is phenomenal. So if you can find a good condition Eureka bag, like on eBay or whatever, pick it up because that company no longer exists, and those were some of the best sleeping bags on the market. But yeah, but yeah, down's cool too, but yeah, they're way more expensive, and you get problems like that. Um, Poly is a lot easier to repair as well than a down bag. It's just like stuff like that, you know. Um, yeah, they're common products, and thankfully now, especially when it comes to synthetic materials, because they're all petrochemical based. Nowadays, your nylon and polyesters are getting to where and this is noted, like with Rainier Fabrics, my one licensed partner with their products, like they're BPA free. They have no BPAs in them. Um, a lot of them now are able to be engineered in a way where you're not getting PFAs and stuff in them either, which is excellent. That's better for the health of humans and the environment. Um, and that's all noted. You know, when companies take pride in being able to do that too, that's huge. So that's another little nuance aspect of textile industry stuff that people don't realize. I have no idea. You know, they just want the product and blah 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 blah. They want the hype with it and everything. It's like you really do need to have due diligence and understanding who's making your stuff and where it's coming from. You know, that stuff matters. It does. Now, I'm not a textile company. Again, I'm a intellectual property. You know, I'm a camouflage brand. I'm an intellectual property, and I'm licensing, managing, and marketing. Um, but I like to know everything that I can about this industry that I'm involved with, and everybody else should too. That's an end user of these products and a general consumer of everything from clothing to whatever else. You know, like people should know about this stuff. Just MB. Yep, there's a guy named John. Makes phenomenal equipment. Charges three times everyone else can because of the name associated with it. It's a great product. Are you talking about SOE? Special operations equipment. John's a really good dude. John Willis is a really good dude. I've talked to him before, and he's a really good dude. He's no nonsense, no bullshit. He does have premiums. Um, and I do think they're a little on the expensive side. Absolutely. It's the same with some other companies. I don't like to call people out, but He's been in the game a long time, and his stuff is extremely well made. It's very, very, very robust. Um, Much stronger than a lot of other stuff out there that's being made. Um, Double, triple stitching, like super upbuilt stuff. Because he's ever since before and during the early GWAT, through the GWAT and everything, he was making gear for people overseas, and that stuff holds up. He's a really good dude. I do agree that SOE gear is expensive. U.S. labor markup is part of that factor, but yeah, it's the premium of the name in part is on it, and that's again that's there's a number of those companies out there, so it's like understanding what the balance is. If you get a product that's expensive from one of these large name companies, one of these other large name companies, you get an expensive product from them, and it turns out to be really thin, weak dog shit. That's a problem, and it's very unscrupulous behavior. So quality matters, you know, apart from where everything's coming from and all the other practices and stuff that they do. You know, is it partially outsourced manufacturing? Is it contract manufacturing? Which if it's U.S. contract manufacturing, fine, that's totally fine. But yeah, SOE stuff is bomb proof, dude. It is extremely well made. I would love to see some Rallyman LBEs made with Frac T patterns. As we talked about it a little while back, but um, he just retired anything Cryptech brand camo stuff. He just retired all the Cryptech stuff. He's not buying any more Cryptech, so I think he's a little leery about doing new camo patterns, which I can understand. It would be amazing if he picked up some 1000D W and whatever else other patterns and made some Rallyman rigs and some other stuff. That would be amazing, and I would freaking get one because I want one. I want to see that. It would be amazing if he did some stuff with Frac T. His stuff is bomb proof. And that goes for a lot of other companies too. I'm all for it, and I want to work with a lot of good companies. It's just it all comes down to what the consumer perspective too, as much as whatever their practices are internally. For a lot of companies, um, they need to see the value in it, and they need to see that durability, and then again the economic ethics with it too. So that's a lot of what that is. So it all matters. But there needs to be a shift in the textile industry for for a lot of the stuff, especially when it comes to manufacturing and sourcing um, of both raw materials and the equipment themselves. Now I've got now a couple of dudes I've made friends with. They have gear companies and stuff, and they have their stuff made overseas. Again, I can understand because of cost efficiency and things like that. And plenty of these facilities in Vietnam and stuff are very well made gear. I like Tasmanian Tiger. Tasmanian Tiger owns their own dedicated facility in Vietnam, and they it's open to the public. You can tour their facility. They have extremely high standards of quality of life and the care of their employees, even in that TAA production. It's one of the few companies that is a shining example of ethical and moral foreign production partnership and structure. Which is why I can get away with supporting them. Um, really well made gear too, by the way. Um, and that matters. That's the quality. I would like to see Tasmanian Tiger because it's a joint Australian US company. I would like to see Tasmanian Tiger shift some of that production to the US. But they have their own dedicated facility. They control everything when it comes to that production in a different country. Economic ethics, you know. So that's just one of those things. So that's one of those rare examples where it really they do stand apart. And I'm impressed by that. Not just because I'm an end user of an insanely good rock, but um, just in that business practice. I would love to work with Tasmanian Tiger. I'm not going to send my camo overseas, but I know that at least they have that security and control over that element of their production and their IP when it does come to foreign manufacturing. Um, I can't send them my camo to go overseas though, unless they can, in documentation and practice, 110% guarantee security, IP security. That's the biggest thing. But I would prefer if they had some of some of it was U.S. manufacturing, and I would love to work with a company like that. That's a big company, and they do a lot of provision. I have cage code, so I can do government contract stuff. I can offer my camo patterns to government contracts and provision, and I'm working on that right now, especially because a lot of it they still want to do a lot. A lot of it is the nylon standard stuff, which is a really old contract requirement that stems back all the way to like the 70s, um, if not a little bit earlier. It hasn't really changed much. And that's why I was talking earlier. You got to look at these material types. Um, some of them perform a lot better than people realize when it comes to like, just some of that stuff. So, anyways, you got me rattling off here. It is now over the 2 hour mark. And definitely got to talking about some very important stuff here, and a lot of things that matter, and a lot of insider insight into the textile industry and business stuff, as much as talking about all the other things and health and wellness and food. Such good food and drink, and some of the geopolitical stuff going on around the world right now. um our economy is hurting, and we need to fix that. Ricky fucking tick. Yeah, I'm glad you could tune in, Gen X. Appreciate you, man. So, with that, in closing, let's everyone work towards making this country even better than it already is. Fixing the economy is one of them. Get after it. Strengthen your communities, strengthen your internal resolve, strengthen your principles in your purchasing power when it comes to American made products. Support FracT, Fractal Spectral Camouflage Systems, and all of our amazing partners and all the partners that are coming on board and that will come on board in the future. Go check out all the music. There's be more stuff coming soon at some point. And with that, as always, metal up. Smash that like button. I never say like and subscribe. I don't give a shit. But if you want to, I appreciate it. As always, metal up. Out.